These 9 fashion items are not worth the money. I often get asked by friends and family, what are the things that you've purchased for your wardrobe that you wouldn't recommend? And what can I save on in my own wardrobe? So these are the 9 items that I always tell them that you can skip on purchasing or you can save a little bit on, because they haven't really been worth it for me. I'm sure none of us like the feeling of wasting money. You get that feeling of guilt and regret when it literally feels like an item has been money down the drain. And these are the things that I feel like have felt that way for me. Starting off, I really don't like it when a clothing style and the fabric used doesn't match up. And I've got so many examples in this category, but one of my most hated is when you see a beautiful summer dress made from linen on the outside, lined with polyester on the inside. The reason why they line this linen is usually because they've used the thinnest linen possible. It's probably quite sheer, so they have to line it with something. You also see this in suiting a lot, so tailored trousers or a blazer that is made from a beautiful linen on the outside, but it has 100% polyester on the inside. You won't be able to wear that on those really hot days of summer, and then it's not really an ideal winter piece either. It's just going to be an additional piece in our wardrobe, taking up space and not really having a lot of functionality. The sad thing for me is that if they used a slightly thicker linen that wasn't sheer, they probably didn't even have to line it at all, or they could have just used a nice light cotton lining and it would have been such a beautiful piece to wear for spring, summer, and warmer weather. This is not just something that you see in more affordable fashion. If we go onto a high-end website like Net-a-Porter, you can see things like denim bralettes. And this for me is also quite an interesting one because denim is normally not the lightest of fabrics. I know that for this piece, it's meant to be a festival item where it's all about the aesthetic, and I get that. But the practical side of me is thinking that on those really hot days where I'm wearing a bralette, I don't want to probably be wearing denim. One of the biggest areas I regret are about shoes. When I'm looking at a pair of shoes, obviously I'm focusing mostly on the comfort, but the next thing I'll look at is the front of the shoe, because a lot of shoes on mine get very, very scuffed at the front. I do a lot of intense walking. I don't have a car, so I walk everywhere and I catch public transport, so my shoes get tons of wear. Brought over a bunch of shoes so I can really break this down. Excuse my PJ pants, I'm kind of showing what I'm wearing now. With a shoe like this one, you can see that there is nothing protecting the front of the shoe. The sole here lies flat with the top of the shoe. What you can see with a loafer is that the sole of the shoe protrudes over the upper. And this for me is what stops a lot of scuffing. So you can see this loafer, I've worn it a lot, and there's not a single scuff mark on it. This has been one of my most worn shoes. You can see how much creasing there is on the shoe. But if you look at the front of the shoe, because the sole protrudes over the upper, again, no scuffing. This is another loafer, but for this one, you can clearly see that the shoe goes over the sole. And because of that, I have scuffing. We all wear our shoes a little bit differently, have different lifestyles and probably walking, habits as well. But this for me has been one of the biggest realizations in what shoes last. The ones that get scuffed kind of just get worse and worse, whereas other shoes I feel I can just keep on wearing, replace the sole, and just have them for a much longer time. If these tips have been helpful to you so far, I would love for you to go give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications to see when I post next. Next item that feels like a waste of money are white tops for summer that are very hard to care for. So the first category of pieces is like dry clean only white blouses. They exist and I feel like they are just too expensive to upkeep because you have to dry clean these pretty much after every wear because you'll be sweating in them in the summer. It's not like a silk blouse for work where you just kind of sit at your desk all day. For a white blouse for summer, it's going to get very yucky, very sweaty, very quickly. So these things are just too expensive for me to upkeep, and I generally try to avoid them. The second thing is that white blouses in general, the ones that you can wash yourself, I feel like are not worth spending tons of money on because they get washed every single wear, and with wash, things will always wear out quicker. With white tops, it's also really easy to get a spill, a stain, or just some sweat marks on it. And because of that, I use a lot of very harsh stain removers. I can pretty much always get a stain out of a white top, but I probably ruin the fabric a little bit with the harsh removers that I use. So again, I probably wouldn't spend too much on this category because I know for my skirts and my jackets, they don't get washed as often, and because of that, they do last longer overall. This is not super summary, but I wear knitwear 3 seasons of the year. Not only do I like, buying knitwear, I also like knitting. So there's just a lot of knitwear around me. And what I can say is that I feel like wool knitwear is always worth it to me versus anything synthetic. The first thing is about washing it and care. With wool knitwear, it has antibacterial qualities, so you actually don't have to wash it very often. You can just air it out. I've got some fabric sprays, and I pretty much just never have to wash wool knitwear. Because of this, I find that knitwear is just very low maintenance. I can just wear it and not have to worry about the care. When it's dry, wool has really good elasticity, and it can also kind of bounce back really easily, so it holds the shape of the knitwear really well. And sometimes with synthetic knitwear, I find that it loses the shape a lot quicker over time. Wool is also just very breathable, very insulating, keeps you cool when you want to be cool, keeps you warm when it's cold, and I just love wool knitwear. So it's something that I will always recommend because I feel like if you look after it, it will last you for a very, very, very long time. If you're sensitive to regular wool, then I would just look for some merino cashmere options. You can look for blends where it's like maybe half and half. You can also look for cotton knitwear options, and these can really be very good alternatives if you're more sensitive to wool. Something that is not worth the money for me is event wear or evening wear that cannot be restyled. Okay, let's break down my event wear into 2 categories. One category is like the really beautiful dramatic things, and look, that can't be restyled and there's nothing really we can do about it. That stuff for me is worth it because it's usually for a huge event or just something that I really want to celebrate. And I'll rewear it a couple of times and that's kind of okay with me. But it's really more the simple event wear stuff that I'm talking about for this tip. I've got this one shoulder dress. It's fairly simple. It's a very beautiful shape and I love it. But I've only worn it maybe 3 times in the 1 or 2 years that I've had it. If I compare it to some of my Reformation dresses, which I feel like are at equal level of formality, those I've been able to wear so much more than just 3 times because they're made from a really lightweight silk. I can wear them in the daytime, I can wear them at night, and they're very, very versatile. So I've gotten so much wear from them. If you buy event wear, I recommend skipping on things that are heavily lined, especially in synthetic, and then just going for those lighter weight pieces that you can also transition into day. It would have been quite easy to droop that black dress in a fabric that works for both day and night, and I think the versatility would be extremely different. One of the things that I feel like is not worth purchasing are summer dresses that are quite fancy and that I can't layer over. So here are 2 examples. One of them has these like big sleeves where it's quite hard to put like light knitwear over the top of that. And then the other one is like a very voluminous length that when I lay a jacket over it, I always feel like it looks a little bit funny. These are 2 dresses that I feel like look best when you wear them alone, and I just don't have many occasions like that. Anywhere I go, I bring a jacket and I need to feel like the outfit is cute with the jacket on. Something you'll see me do a lot on my channel is that I'll take a dress and I'll wear it in lots of different ways. And if I can't do that with a dress, it's really not worth having for me in my wardrobe because in an entire year, I'll probably wear it a couple of weekends in the summer, and that is it. With short dresses, I need to know that if I layer a jacket over the top, it still looks like I've got like pants on. So that's like another consideration for me, and why like those little mini dresses also don't work for me. If I put on a jacket and it looks like I'm not wearing pants, I'm probably not gonna put a jacket over that. So not the most wearable. Everything I'm talking about today is just like my experience and recommendations, but I feel like this one is especially opinionated. I feel like a lot of more affordable underwear options I've tried have been a waste of money. And I've tried a lot. And a lot of them for me just don't wash well and they don't last as long. They don't feel as comfortable on. And I have tried so many over the years and spent a lot of money. But for the last probably about 3 years, I've been wearing this Calvin Klein Invisibles range. And I've been a huge fan. Never been gifted, never sponsored, never probably will be. I am just a loyal customer and it's a line that has actually saved me a lot of money because this is all I get now. I replace it and that's it. If you don't need a lot of support or if maybe it's just like a loungy day, I really like their Invisibles like bralette. It's seamless, it's super comfortable. Better than any other bralette I've ever tried. It has padding, but the padding kind of comes out. I do wash them, but I just slot them back in afterwards. It looks really good under clothing because it's seamless. It is so comfortable to wear, and I just have all the good things to say about it. Same thing with the underwear. I'm gonna link below the one that I really like, but it doesn't ride up on me. I feel like it lasts a long time and it is seamless, so it looks very good underneath different pants. I'll link to the styles I like down below because I'm not gonna show anything. But since discovering this line, because I've stuck to it, I do feel like I've saved money on trying new things and trying things that just ultimately don't hold up or don't work as well. This is a very personal recommendation, so what works for me doesn't mean it's going to necessarily work as well for you, but I still did want to mention this because it's been such a game changer. With all of this talk about quiet luxury lately, I want to talk about something that has never been worth it for me, which is splurging on very basic items. I fell for this one when I was quite a bit younger, and I figured that people always said invest in your basics, it will be worth it. So, I mean, I really did that. I spent a lot of money on basics. So I'm talking about like going to Acne Studios and finding like t-shirts, you know, finding really simple pieces like a black skirt at more expensive shops. And, you know, if I pull up this black skirt, this is very expensive, and to be honest, I just know for sure that if I had this skirt, it would not change my style. It would not elevate my life. It would not really make that much of a difference. After a certain price point, anything else I spend on top of that, I feel like is a waste. For this type of skirt, I can probably find it at Sezane, made from a merino wool. That for me is probably the best place that I would purchase it. And then anything on top of that in terms of price is no longer worth it. That's my opinion based on my past experience. With these very basic items, they will never completely transform my style. If the fabric is good, if the cut and the fit is good, that is the cap. If I'm going to splurge on like a contemporary designer or something, it will always have a point of difference. So either the check and color palette is very unique, either the shape is something that I cannot find anywhere else, quality is just above anything else I can come across, or it has like a subtle unique cut that makes it really very flattering, but it cannot be a very basic item I can get anywhere. This bag from the road is beautiful, it's luxurious. I feel like if I carried that versus if I carry like an APC bag, which is already, you know, very nice, the difference is not there. It's not worth 4 times as much. This wool midi skirt from Gabriella Hearst, if I can drip the fabric at Sezane, I will do it. If I can drip it at End of Stories or even anywhere cheaper, I would do it. Trust me, when you have it on, it will not be like 4 times the difference at all. Final thing that's just not worth the money are trends that either you're not sure about or you feel like maybe they're not right for your personal style even though you like them. So this category is one of those ones where I'm not gonna say all trends are bad, because I think to rule out all trends is like oversimplifying it a little, because there are so many things that we all think of as classics might actually be a trend. That's not the point. With more seasonal trends, if you have any doubt, my biggest recommendation is just to like save your money, and then you can wait till the end of season, at which point the item goes on sale. And I feel like at that point, the item is no longer trendy, you no longer feel that excitement of it being super new. So it's a better time for me to assess whether I actually like this piece or whether I liked it just because it was trendy. I recommend this tip to a lot of my friends because not only can you save a little bit of money on that thing you wanted, you can also have the time to really think about whether you're buying this for your own style or whether you're buying it because you've been swayed by everything you're seeing. One of the best examples is this handbag. This is the Menu Atelier cylinder bag. This was really popular, I would say maybe 5 years ago now. And at the time, I kind of wanted one, but I wasn't sure I was really going to get a lot of wear from it. So I ordered it and I ended up sending it back. And then a few years later, this bag is not really as popular as it once was, and I see it a lot on clearance in the sales. I got this for, I think, $200 versus the original maybe $8. And because I had like a couple of years in between the trend and when I purchased it, I really could assess it and say, even though it's not super trendy, I still love it. There are so many examples like this in my wardrobe, and the other one that immediately comes to mind is my Tibi crop jacket. That jacket is very trendy. That short crop jacket, and I got it at the end of season sale. Absolutely still love it 3 years on, and it's another really good purchase in my wardrobe. Did a lot of talking in today's video. Those are the 9 things that I feel like are not worth the money. Let me know your thoughts in the description box down below. Do you agree with these? Is there one you disagree with? What is an item that you'll recommend me or someone else watching today's video to not purchase and to save their money on? Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked what you saw, I would love for you to go like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications to see when I post, and I'll see you next week.